Hi everyone. So today I'm going to talk about COVID-19 pandemic timeline. So how the coronavirus started, spread and stalled life in New Zealand. This story is written by Susan Strongman, edited by Veronica. Data visualization is done by Cash Newton. It's developed by Josephine Hall. This story is published at RNZ, which is Radio New Zealand. Critique will be by myself. Data sources. The data is taken from Johns Hopkins University, New Zealand Ministry of Health, our word in data.org. The data was collected from December 2019 to 27 September 2020. The data format is unknown, but I guess it's in CSV format. Data processing. So the data processing and analysis was done in Tableau, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This data story was built with shorthand, which is actually web templates provider. Before I jump into the next slide, let me show you the actual content. This data story talks about all of the important events that happened in New Zealand and rest of the world during COVID-19 pandemic. This data story has lots of pictures and some of the videos covering those events. It has a couple of visualization. For example, here it shows us the top 10 worst affected countries on March 17 in terms of COVID cases. There is another visualization which shows us the daily COVID cases and the daily ICU cases in New Zealand. If we come down, yeah, I'm talking about this visualization. So here, this white line represents the daily COVID cases, and this red bar chart represents the daily ICU cases in New Zealand. Now let me go to the next slide and I'll be giving you some more details about all those events. In this slide, I have highlighted some of the important events that happened between December 2019 and September 2020. On December 2019, we have saw the emergence of pneumonia cases in Wuhan due to unknown cause. On December 31st, 2019, WHO was told about those cases. On January 12, China shared the genetic sequence with the rest of the countries in developing the diagnostic kits. On January 20th, the virus spread to other countries like Thailand, Japan, and South Korea. On January 31st, WHO declared outbreak to be a public health emergency of international concern. On February 28, we have seen the first COVID-19 case in New Zealand. On March 16, strict border measures were put in place by the New Zealand government to control the virus. On March 27, it was the first day of lockdown in New Zealand. On March 29, we have witnessed the first COVID-19 death. On September 12, there were anti-lockdown protests across New Zealand. On September 27, the total number of COVID cases was 1668. Overall message and takeaways. So what New Zealand did differently than the rest of the world to control COVID-19? Due to rapid and strict border controls, robust contact tracing, strong public health messaging, a comprehensive testing regime, effective coordination between the government and the public health agencies, and a relatively low population density, New Zealand was able to control the virus better than rest of the world. Strengths of the analysis and visualization. So this story not only covered all of the important events between December 2019 to September 2020 in New Zealand, but also other countries in the world. It did a pretty good comparisons of New Zealand with the rest of the world in terms of COVID cases, lockdowns, and other measures taken by the government to contain the virus. Weaknesses. So this data story covers events till end of September. but the line chart only shows the data points from 28 February to 21st August 2020. So actually it's missing 1 month of data on the line chart. It doesn't show any appropriate labels for the x-axis. For example, this doesn't tell you from which date to which date the data is collected. This data story also is missing a lots of visualization. For example, geographic maps to shows you the distribution of COVID cases across different regions in New Zealand, the distribution of ICU cases among male and female, and the distribution of ICU cases among different age groups. If you look at this graph, I think the color scheme selection is not that great. If you look at the color for the Italy and South Korea, it's pretty hard to distinguish between the two. So I think the guy should have done a better job in selecting a better color scheme while displaying these line charts for different countries. Thank you for watching.